Getting to be a beautiful day. The sun's coming. Earl Elms Memorial. Earl, couple-time Snipe World Champion. Earl Elms Memorial. This fleet has a lot of good sailors. 31297, top 5 at the Worlds a couple times. George Sabot is somewhere in there. Jimmy Grubbs, 29780. He's been national champ, maybe North American champ. George Zabot's like a 3-time finalist for Rolex Yachtsman of the Year. There you go. Pins favored. This is the A, B, and C1 fleet. Okay, we look up at the Snipe fleet, and it looks like 2 different winds. These guys are headed on port, and those guys are lifted on port. I think, not sure what to think. Here's Jacob right here, Max right here. So some of our guys were late. I think people got confused about where the when the start was. I think there was a lot of kids confused about when the start was. Here's Celeste, right here, 9995. Got a good start. Looks really good. Oh, look at this wind coming. The race is gonna change here. This is a solid 8 knots coming, 7. There's Maddie out there doing good. 9157. Taylor out there just didn't quite know the time. So we got to talk about the flags a little there. Maddie is just locked in there. Yeah, she is going to get headed though. We can see Max starting to get headed. Yeah, and right now, anytime the wind builds, it's going to go more from the west here. This is 275 on the compass, looking just that way. And if that puff is even bigger, we might actually see 280 in the wind, which is going to put Jacob in a really good spot. Okay, here's 954 getting headed, and here's Maddie still doing well, bow up. And the interesting thing is that if you look back here, these guys actually are still pretty lifted, but they will cave. In Mission Bay here, if you're not hard left, that middle left will very likely cave. Oh, okay, Maddie has just got it locked in, and she's got tons more wind coming. So now we look up wind, and we see the Snipes. And they're all on starboard coming downwind to the gates. That's good for Maddie. That means the wind is not oscillating to the right, likely, as she gets a big header. So she probably wants to step up here. There's starboard tackers over there. They're headed. She's headed on port. She probably should tack, sail parallel to these guys who are now lifted. So see how these guys are lifted now? She probably should have tacked right away on that and stayed in phase, because the next shift, oh, look at the orange flag on the race committee. Next shift's a lefty, so she missed that chance. I can see the flag blowing. Yeah, so that's okay. Still doing great, still in 4th. Here's a C2 start. We don't have anybody in there. That's a big fleet, but look at their angle. They're on a big lift. Oh, here's Chris Rose. He thought there was still a minute to go. No problem, dude. This guy's the comeback kid. Maybe healing a little too much, but just locked in on a lefty. Now the Snipes are kind of on both jibes, so this is hard, you guys. This is shifty. I don't have any information from the Snipes. They don't look windy. I can't tell what shift they're in. Oh, the flag has shifted back to the right on the race committee boat. So the good news is that all the boats right here should have a decent angle. It's not a big righty, it's just a decent angle. See how they're moving? Look at Taylor. Maddie's doing well. So ultimately, first race, Earl Elms. It's pretty good to stay on starboard after the start and get a little bit left. And I was just basing that on, what I saw in this night field. Looks like the wind is in a right phase. I'm on the right side of the course, so I'm not at the same angle as I was before, but that is not a lefty looking at the orange flags. And Jacob did good by coming in. The current's very weak though. His move will work better later. He just stayed on the lifted tack at the end and did 2 tacks. We talked about that. In 4th, Maddie in 5th or so. Good job, you guys. I think Max did a penalty turn, maybe. Yeah, good racing here. Okay, so that was playing the shifts, man. Playing the shifts. Here comes Fenton, doing pretty good. Here's Kevin. So what we want to do now is look at the 8th leaders, and you're going to see Jacob. Jacob is a very good sailor. He's trained in Optimist dinghies, so he's got a little more experience than most of us. So it's not like he's walking on water over here, but look at the little bit of heel to leeward. You have to keep the chine in the water on the Sabot. You got to get the lee board a tiny bit deeper on port tack. And you see how his boom, watch his main sheet trim. Let's see if we can see it. You're going to see it's tight when he's fast. Oh, look at Max. Max is much tighter. So Jacob's going to pinch Max off here. Mark my words. Max is getting pushed too far sideways. So Jacob's going to pinch Max off. Yep, see how there's that little leeward heel. Nice, Max. Not getting pinched off. And then Maddie's good. Nice. Taylor's good. Kosei just had a huge regatta in Newport. Won like 6 out of 8 races or 10 races, something. So, but he's heeled over so much that he's going to drop down because he's depowering his sail a little and he's creating too much rudder drag, just a little. She's just a little over trimmed. I think Max and Jacob, you'll see Jacob's just a little looser at times. Max is a little tighter at times. Oh, here's Kevin. He looks pretty good. He's sitting a little too far back, so his stern's dragging just a little. His windward telltale's moving just a little too much. Now what Kevin would do is he would look at that boat. That boat's very light, 9151, 9159. He's in C3. Here we go. Jacob, Owen, Max, all tack. So this is all about playing shifts, you guys. Playing shifts and seeing the wind. So not all about playing shifts. You gotta see the wind. Right now it's really tough. There's a big hole right there. Do you see that snipe way up there? He's got a puff. And then from the white buoy here is a huge hole. If you look at the blue boat way out there, they have pretty good wind. So Max is doing good. These guys are all doing good. Okay, so we have the 8th leaders now getting to the windward mark. And you have the C3 fleeters in there too. So this is just hard to tell who's where. Here's Celeste right here. We're gonna work with Celeste on burping the main a little at times. And looking at that leech telltale up above the 9995, you guys, hers is hiding all the time. You see how it's hiding all the time? So when it does that, slow little ease, burp it out a little. Hopefully your boom's rising straight up in these conditions. So your vang's kind of loose. It rises up, the leech starts to flow a little. Chris is stalled also on his. So a little bit of flow on the leech for a few seconds, and then you can, once you're moving, you can trim it like you got it right now, where it's stalling out a tiny bit. but you got to make sure you move. But Celeste, I mean, I'm going to tell you, I think Celeste is probably 9th right now, 8th. Everybody's doing very well. Taylor's probably in 5th or 6th now. Maddie's in 4th or 5th. Here's Kevin coming in there, 9487. So very good job, guys. Race 1's for C3s. Here's Nick. I think he's in 2nd. It's really hard to tell. Here's Jacob, I think, winning the race by a country mile now. Okay, so let's look again. Port tack, heeled. He's on a huge lift. So what he's doing here is he's doing fleet management. That was one of our goals today. He's taking a header in order to step up over here and make sure that he's not going to get under all these guys. Here he comes. See how he's just super loose on the main because it's so light? And he's just kind of reaching and making sure he's going fast. And then he gets over here. Nobody over here can beat him. So he's going to get right over here. He's going to let go of the tiller and let the boat roll into attack here in a second. Yep. Cruise, cruise, cruise. Yeah, see how he's coasting? Again, see how far out the boom is there? Gotta remember, after tax. Oh, Owen just got a big righty. Owen's back in the race. Jacob's about to figure it out. So Jacob's going to have to tack again. Oh, who's going to come down? Somebody's going to have to get a header. I think it's Owen's going to come down, but we'll see. Oh, wow, what a race. You look over, the biggest righty of the day over there. There's people on starboard. So this is all we can do right here in this position is keep coming out here because there is wind over here. So Taylor's only choice is to come out here. So this is a heck of a race. But yeah, you see how the snipes are getting on port tack now? That's a righty. So Taylor's going to be on the wrong side of a shift. Here's Maddie just trucking. Hard to say what place they're in. I think Cose's in 4th, 9403. I think Taylor's in 5th or 6th. Maddie did a good job there. That's about as good a lift as you're gonna get for a while, girl. That was a great move. So we're gonna see how she comes out against Taylor. Taylor's just waiting. Oh, there it is. He just got the shift. You gotta come out of your tacks a little lower on lifts. So if you get a auto tack, you come out of the next tack 1 degree off the wind and make sure you squirt that boat forward, fast forward, get a lot of wind going. That's kind of true for any tack, but especially right there. There's the righty. Here's Maddie tacking back. So if she gets wind, she gained on him. And then you'd stand up in your boat and look at that guy. You see that black boat way out there? You see that guy? Righty, puff. So you have to be footing towards that if you are.
Oh, yeah, you for sure. You guys have 6 8 footers? What?
Really challenging race. Their finish line is right up by the beach. So not good for a youth regatta to put yourself right in the lee of a bunch of trees and buildings. But anyway, that's pretty standard for race committees lately. Here's Madeline sailing really good. She just got a little header. She doesn't know that, but she's got to look at her sails. Just a little high. Oh, yes. So she rounded the windward mark first in the first race today. And she rounded the mark the wrong direction. Poor thing. She is new to racing. But anyway, good job in the first race.